Ga, Mayed nga Agahon, coming to you live from Numancia, Aklan, in Western Visayas, here in the Philippines. I'm having my morning cup of coffee in my coffee with Gino cup, right there. Picture of me with umbrella. This picture actually was taken on White Beach, Boracay. And there's the logo that my good friend HD had made for our channel. Really cool TV looking thing, modern, kind of like that, got that 1950s, 1960s kind of look. And then my coffee is Copico Blanca is my coffee. This is 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Coffee, cream, and sugar all in one in this tiny, tiny packet here. And this Copico Blanca is like 7 pesos each. You can get a pack of 10 for 70. So that's about $1.50. So for me, 10 cups of Copico Blanca is about $1.50. Just good cup of coffee for me. It's my favorite. Out of all the 3-in-1 I've tried here in the Philippines, this Copico Blanca is my favorite. And I usually just have 1 cup a day. Like this cup right here will be good for me for the whole day because everything now for me is everything in moderation. Hey, there's my good friend Tim C in Las Vegas, Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. What's up? Good morning, bro. Just getting my day started, man. I think, oh, audio is breaking up. Oh, man, that's too bad. That's too bad. Uh, I figure it shouldn't be, well, we'll try it for a little bit. If it keeps breaking up, I'll just end the live stream. I'll just end the live stream if it continues to break up. Oh, there's my good friend Tex Pat. Thanks for Brian Bryben from Galveston, Texas. Galveston County, Texas. I'm gonna have to start doing my live streams now, like at 5. I'm gonna get into a nice routine now because we enrolled, Dazzle and I enrolled at a gym, new gym. I should have filmed it yesterday, but we got busy with working out. Our good friend Gray, he's kind of like my trainer. He's like teaching me. I got my little journal here because I want to get a nice program going, get back to working out. Focus on working out again. Uh, Day one, I had day one Monday. Uh, did a lot of sets of like stretching exercise, and then we worked on back and shoulders and chest. So today I think we're gonna work out like lower body, but he's gonna get me in the routine. I'm gonna come up with a schedule. That way, when he leaves Calibo, he's just here temporarily. He's just traveling southeast. Oh, there's mom. She's awake early too. Did I wake you up, mom? Morning, morning. She gets up early too because Leanna goes to school at 7, but mom prepares Leanna's lunch for her. And Leanna wants a lunch like she just doesn't like sandwich. She likes rice, egg, fried stuff, or ulam like the viand here in the Philippines. We always have to maneuver around our stairs here because Totoy blocks the stairs. Totoy, like our dog, our native Aspen dog, she takes up the whole corner there when we're coming down the stairs. So we have kind of have to maneuver. We have kind of maneuver, and the gym, really nice gym. Just I would say that gym just opened, probably less than a month. That gym opened. It opens at 7. So uh, there yesterday we noticed by around 9 a.m. there's like more people coming in. So that's why we want to get there like at 7. After we drop off Liana, Dazzle and I pick up our friend in Calibo, and then we go to the gym. So that's gonna be our routine pretty much while our good friend Gray is here. He plans to stay here, Calibo, for I think 2 months, maybe we'll see. I told him no pressure. If he's got to got to do something else. We were kind of happy that he came here because Gray could go anywhere. It's like he's been in Thailand for a few months. He's been in Bali for a few months. He can go to Europe. He can go anywhere. He's retired. He's retired military. He's got he's got money. He's not struggling with money, so he can go anywhere. And he picked Calibo just because he wanted to hang out with good friends too. That's why he said. He's actually staying at La Casa Española. He's got a one-bedroom, nice one-bedroom, fully furnished apartment. The same ones that I made a video of La Casa Española, and cost him 20,000 pesos a month, about $350 a month. But they don't have a gym. They don't have a gym at La Casa Española apartments. They don't have a pool. So that's why we have to go to a gym to work out. But it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna get me into a nice routine. Will get me working out, back to working out. Because me, all my life I've been I was in the military for 20 years, Air Force, United States Air Force. I'm all about routine in my life. I always got up early, 5 o'clock. It's already late for me, 5 o'clock a.m. because I'm in bed by 8 p.m. Last night I was in bed by 7 p.m. because I was worn out from all the working out to the day, just running around, getting our car registration renewed. So I was pretty tired. So I was in bed. I was sleeping by 7. Got up about 3:30 this morning. I've always been like a morning person, so I'll do this routine. So now we'll have a new time for my live streams. More of my live streams now. It'll be before 7 now, before 7 a.m. because we're gonna be at the gym by 7 a.m. And my friend Grace got me on all these supplements. He's got me on. I've already taken out protein. But now he's got me on this collagen. He's got me on creatine. He's got me. What's this other one? This other one is inositol. It's got me on. Gray's like a bodybuilder. I mean, it's like if you see Gray in person, he's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a monster. He's just a beast. So, but he's starting me slow. Everything light weights. No free weights. We're doing the machines, doing all the stretches. He's easy on me because he knows that I have not, lifted or anything nothing heavy. Actually, my oncologist told me, take it easy, don't be lifting heavy stuff. So it's more like getting toned. And I do need to gain weight. It's like I thought I was at 154 pounds because I hadn't been weighing myself regularly. Yesterday at the gym, I weighed myself. I was 150. I was 150 pounds. So I'm 5'10". So 150. I do need, like even Grace said, I do need to gain some weight, gain some muscle weight, hopefully. Let me do the weather real quick before I go through the messages here before we get started. Basically, there's no a weather condition like typhoon, tropical depression, nothing like that in the Philippines. It's still the easterlies, same easterlies that I mentioned yesterday affecting the country. And the easterlies are just winds. I think I have my notes from yesterday on this. Yeah, easterlies, when they say easterlies are affecting the Philippines, easterlies are winds that blow from east to west, predominantly in the Earth's equatorial regions. In the Philippines, easterlies are often mentioned as one of the weather systems affecting the country. So I guess it's common. It's not like it's uncommon for us to. But this morning it was pouring rain. When I woke up at 3:30, it was a downpour here. So it's gonna be wet outside. And it rained yesterday too. Yesterday, you saw me filming at Lambingan Beach by the Prime Motors for our car renewal. The whole morning it was a downpour. It was just a downpour, like 2-3 hours of torrential rain. And then in the afternoon, it was like super sunny. So it got really humid. hot and humid, no breeze. Usually when you go to Lambingan Beach, there's like a nice breeze from the ocean. Yesterday it was like dead. It was like it was warm. It was warm and hot in that Prime Motors area. Of course, they don't have AC. You know, everything here in the Philippines, in the province anyway, a lot of buildings that have AC, they have a tendency of turning it off. You know, because saving on electricity. Because electricity here is kind of expensive. It's not cheap. Not cheap electricity here. So it says here Bicol, Bicol region, Quezon, Romblon, Aklan. Hey, we're included. Capi, Samar, Eastern Samar, Metro Manila, Mindanao. Cloudy skies today with scattered rains and thunderstorms caused by the easterlies. So they no mention of habagat this time. It's easterlies this time. So that's the weather report. I just don't want to disappoint Vegas Will when he watches this live stream because I know he calls me the Mr. Weatherman. Mr. Weatherman. Gus Spring, I always get a Gus Spring comment every day. Hey, appreciate it, appreciate it. Tapion, appreciate it. No worries. Losita, hey, my good friend in Maine. Good morning, Losita. Keep on smiling, my dear friend. All right, hey, I woke up this morning, I got nothing but smile. That's how I look at it. It's like waking up is not guaranteed, right? You hear people all the time that go to bed and they never wake up. So if I wake up every day, man, I'm a happy man. It's like, and I'm waiting for sunrise. It's not sunrise yet here. So I'll show you guys the sunrise when it's up. It's dark outside still. It's got street lights are still on outside. Shout out to my dear daughter celebrating her birthday in Boston. All right. September 8th. Happy birthday, Stephanie. Happy birthday, Stephanie. Happy birthday. Text Pat says, a bento box. Kind of like similar. Let me see. Let me show you Leanna's lunch box. This is Leanna's lunchbox. There's little containers that go in here too, kind of like a bento box, and it's frozen. She's had it now for like 2 years, over 2 years now since she's been going to school here. That's her bento box. It did look like a box. And then here's Leanna's kumon. We have to prepare her kumon because after her school today, we go straight from her school 4 p.m. to Kumon in Kalibo. That's like an hour and a half she has to do her Kumon. Kumon is like extra education for Leanna on math, reading, and English. Mom's got her uniform ready. See, mom's on top of things. Look at mom. She got all the Leanna's uniform iron. That's what I said to people. Mom is a blessing to us. I mean, I got a comment one day and it said there, the guy said, you mean you're supporting your mom? She'll be out the door, kicked out ASAP. I was like, are you crazy? I was like, that was crazy comment. I was like, mom is like a blessing to us. She takes good care of us. I mean, she's like taking care of Leanna. She's cooking meals for us. I mean, that alone, the cooking meals alone, is like that's a blessing. That's a blessing. I don't look at that as a negative. That's a definite positive. Fortune, hey Fortune, I'm back to like my early, when we were in Boracay, when I was doing the live streams from Boracay. So it looks like I'm gonna start doing the live streams like at 5 a.m., between 5 and 5:30 a.m. is when I'll start the live streams. And then before I have to take Leanna to school, that's when we'll cut the live streams because I'm back working out in the gym. Yesterday was first day, and today it's gonna be like the whole week pretty much. I think Gray was telling us we will get like a rest day, so maybe on the rest day working out, I'll do the regular like a 7:30 back to that. But most of the live streams now will be around this time, around right after 5 a.m. I'm an early person, I think you guys know that already. I'm an early person. I'm always awake early. Greetings and salutations, HD. All right, my good friend in Northern California. Edgar, hey Edgar, you're counting down, brother. You're gonna be here next week. I can't wait to pick you up at the airport, Edgar. I'm excited. I'm excited. I can't wait to look at your smiling face because I know you'll be smiling when you see me. Everybody that sees me, they finally meet me. They're all like, Gino, I can't believe I'm meeting you. You know, so I'm sure we're gonna have a great time, Edgar. HD, Edgar, right? I only sleep for 4 or 5 hours, so I am sleep at 8 p.m. I'll wake up at wow. I used to be like you, HD. I used to be like that when I was working. My when I was in Arizona at St. Mary's Hospital, I would try to get in bed by like 9 p.m. because I knew I was trying to always, sleep is so important. Sleep is like our body, everything. Sleep is like the time to recover. It's like recovery for our body. Uh, but the same, I was the same. I would sleep at 9 p.m. and usually 1 or 2 a.m. I'm like waking up and then I can't go back to bed, So I start doing stuff, I start doing computer. I start preparing for the day, day of work. But I changed that when I retired here. I always make sure I get like 8 hours of sleep. And if I don't get 8 hours sleep for any kind of reason, during the day I will nap like hour, 2 hours to make up for it because that's one of the things I know is important is sleeping, because that's, and especially now for me, for my cancer recovery, that my doctor tells me get plenty of rest, don't overdo things. And even with this working out, Grace like taking it easy on me. I'm not gonna be like, like yesterday somebody said, oh man, Gino's gonna get buff. I said, it ain't gonna be like that. It's not gonna be like that. I just want to like get back to my fitness that I used to be fit. Now I can kind of feel a lot of different muscles today because we did a lot of like stretching, with the machines yesterday too that we worked out. That's more than I've lifted in a long time. So I wanted to get back to that and then incorporate my cardio because I've always been a runner. So hopefully, like my friend Gray is saying, once I built up all the muscles in my body, I can try to go running again because I miss running. I do miss running. It's like that was like one of the joys in my life. I was always been a runner. I was proud to be like a runner. So hopefully I can get back to that. That's the whole point of this. And Gray told me he'll get me there, and I trust him. Gray is a smart man. Gray's got like PhDs. This is Doctor. I call him Dr. Gray. It's like he knows what he's talking about. When you talk to him, it's like so intellectual. That's why he'll explain to me like cell structure, and I'm like listen, cell recovery and all that. I'm like, okay, all right, great. Me, guys, like even HD when he's trying to explain like engineering stuff here on the channel, I'm like, man, I gotta read up because I don't know what HD's talking about. So I gotta read up after the live stream because, I'm not, I went to college, but I'm not like intellectual like that. I'm just an ordinary dude, man. It's just an ordinary person. But I'm interested in a lot of, still now, like I'm 59. I still love to learn, it's like, daily I'm learning things. I'm reading stuff online. People telling me, when you tell me something, hey Gino, this is how you do it. Solar panels, you tell me about solar, I'll be looking online, I'll be watching videos, I'll be reading. I still love to learn. I think learning to me is like keeps my brain going still. It's like I just enjoy it, and I've never been one not to learn. So I just love learning new things. Happy birthday to Stephanie from the Panay Posse. All right, Edgar. That's the reason why I try to wait until 11, 12 a.m. So I'll wake up around the same time okay. All right. Niels. Hey, good morning, Niels. Good morning. I know, HD, right? At 1 to 2 a.m., there's nothing open, especially here in the province, man. In the province, nothing is open here. Maybe 7-Eleven. I think they're open 24/7. That's the only thing out, outside the gate. But here it is dark. I mean, even the street lights that we have at Camellia, they have a good amount of street lights, but it's one of those solar ones. They're not really bright enough to just like enough to get light on the streets, but it's not really bright. Good AM, Edgar. All right. Electricity will be cheaper if you have solar panels. Definitely, definitely. That's why I'm interested. That's why I'm interested. If I can cut my electricity by half, if I could cut it by half. Right now, I'm ranging between 3,500 pesos to 4,000, about $75. If I can cut that to $40 a month, it's just the thought of cutting it down. It's like that would just be the cool, kind of like getting free energy. To use electricity since you don't have use it, you're just wasting it unless you have some ways in storing the energy. Oh, I see. I think I'll figure that out. I think I won't have like a huge amount of solar panels. I'm thinking the most probably is maybe three 100 watt panels. I might even start at two. Just to power maybe a couple of batteries. I'll see how it goes, but it's not going to be a big system because I just want to be able to like run fans here on the fan upstairs, fan downstairs. Really, the fan is the main thing. If I can power, we have an inverter refrigerator. I don't know how much this inverter refrigerator takes up electricity. I'd be happy. That way, the refrigerator's always going. And the TV's really like, it doesn't take up a lot of, because our TV and internet, I can run that on our Blue Yeti, this little Blue Yeti I have here. But it's just cool. For me, the whole solar energy is just cool, because like before it was unaffordable for me, and I was looking at the prices of some of the things. Even when I bought this tiny Blue Yeti, it was like 19,000 pesos, but it's been well worth it. Now the prices have dropped. This thing, I can get the similar one or better even for like 10,000, 11,000 now. So the prices have dropped. So it's become affordable in my mind anyway, in my mind. Good morning, Gino. Have a good day. All right. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim. Bill Meyer. Good morning. Good morning, Bill. Mayat nga agahon. HD. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Yeah, Leanna sings that. See, she sings that. Let it go, let it go. The theme from Frozen. But she's had that, I'm actually surprised that she's still using it because, she's high school now. That's kind of like, she did buy another bento box, but it didn't last. It had like a rubber seal around it, and it broke. And they had a kind of like a plastic top. You flip the top, and they had chopsticks in there, and plastic fork and plastic spoon, and it broke. So she went back to her old. I'm surprised actually because high school you're still doing Frozen. High school, like the kids might like tease her about it, but so far it's good. It's good. She's not getting bullied for her Frozen lunchbox. I told her that too. Aren't they gonna bully you for having like a Frozen? You're in high school now and you still have Frozen lunchbox. I would love someone to cook for me. I know, right? That's what I'm saying, Bill. For me, it's like, somebody to like, every day, I don't have to worry about thinking of stuff to cook. I can just like, I want to eat mongo today. I can just buy the ingredients and mom will cook it. I mean, come on now. That's too easy, man. That's a good time. I wake up at 4. I sleep at 9. Yeah, see, me and you, Fortune, we're almost at the same time. 9 p.m. is a little later for me. I'm 8 p.m. I'm in bed because I know, like Fortune, you got a routine. Like me. All my life, I've been all about routines. My military. I was in the military. By 5 a.m. when I was in the military for 20 years, I was running outside. That was like the start of my day. Was always running for hour and a half every single day during my military year. So that's by the time I get done, shower, put on my uniform. I'm at the office by 7. That was my routine for like 20 years. So it's hard to like uh, get out of that. But I actually, that's why people tell me, they have said this to me before. Man, you retired already, Gino. How come your hair is like military cut? How come you still wake up? I would be sleeping in till like 9, 10 a.m. You're retired now, Gino. Take it easy. I never looked at it that way. It's like me, I've always looked at it. I have a nice routine. This is the way, I got energy, as you can tell. I wake up, I'm like ready to go, ready to attack the day. Why, I didn't feel like I should change that. And to me, it's like it's a good start to my day. I'm active, I stay active. And then the only difference is when I'm retired, before I attack the day in the early, I have to work till like 4 or 5 p.m. or later, right? I can't take a nap during the afternoon, but now that's a luxury of retirement is I can do this. I can wake up early, do a live stream, go to the gym, spend 3 to 4 hours at the gym, work out, eat lunch, and then boom, I can take my nap. I can take 2 hour, 3 hour naps in the afternoon. I didn't have that dynamic when I was working. So that's the only change really in my life. I've always been a routine person. I never, I think I didn't want to be like, I'm retired now. I can just kick back, lay, on the couch, watch TV. That was never me. Even when I lived in Boracay, even when Dazzle and I went to school, it's like when we went 4 years in college, I would get up early at 5. I would run. And our first class usually was like at 7:30 or 8 a.m. And I'd be in the classroom, for a few hours or till like lunchtime. That I've always been like that. I always like that. I'm a morning person. I guess that's what I'm trying to. I don't think I could change it. I'm 59 years old now. I don't think I can change to like removing that. That I'm a morning person. Kevin Nova, good morning. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning. Early bird gets the worms. All right, that right. That's good saying. Good saying there, Kevin. Hey, when fitness meets faith, my friend Ria in Tennessee. Hello, hello, Ria. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, there's Vegasville. Hey, Vegasville. I don't forget you, brother. I don't forget you. I did the weather report. No weather occurrence in the Philippines. We are getting rain. We are getting rain because of the easterlies, the easterly winds, the easterly winds. It's great that Gray helps you. It is awesome, man. It's like, and like I said, Gray's like the smartest individual that I know on earth. I don't know a smarter person than Gray. So he knows about, he explains stuff to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I'm trying to like absorb. I got my drink here. He says before working out, you got to get my protein, my creatinine, my amino acids. I got to get it in, work out, then afterwards I have to get another drink. So he's got me on a program. He's gonna get me to like, I'm gonna be in good shape. But I figure after the 2 months that he's here, when he leaves, I'll just maintain the program, and that should get me in great shape. When Ria, all right, Ria. Hi, Gino. I'm an early bird as well. I go to bed at 8. Hey, the same time I go to bed, 8. Yeah, wake up at 3. I usually wake up like 4:35, 5 a.m. That's kind of like my wake up time. I guess it's a part of growing. It's a part of growing old. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Ria, because I've always been like that. When I was in the military for 20 years, I might stay up later. Stay up later, but because I always woke up 4:30 because I usually ran. In the military we have PT. We have PT in the military where you have to run. HD, cell recovery. That's the word. That's the word. I've heard that word, cell recovery, from my friend Gray. You you mean NAD cell regeneration? Yes, yes. He's mentioned that. He's mentioned that sleeping is the best way to recovery or regeneration of cells is like when you sleep. So the more sleep, the better. And I've had an idea about that before, but he explains to me all these more technical terms, more technical. Yeah, like this, a vital coenzyme to support cellular energy, repair DNA. Yep. I mean, like I said, he's a doctor, man. He's got like he writes for the medical journal. He does stuff like that. That's his hobby. He'll write articles for the medical journals. This next time, all right, all right. Hey, let me take a picture. I'm gonna impress him, man. I'm gonna memorize it. I'm gonna memorize it, HD, and he's gonna go. Oh, and he'll probably give me a hard time anyway. He's gonna go. Oh, where did you read this? You must have Googled it. You must have Googled it. But he's a great guy. It's like yesterday after our workout, we had lunch. He made lunch. We went to his place, made a cabbage. We had cabbage, rice. Dazzle cooked the rice, and he had some ground beef cooked in like the Korean chili oyster sauce. I mean, it was great lunch. Especially after working out, man. We were all starving. The chicken is yeah, right. You see, right here, man. We don't have chickens. That's the thing. We don't have chickens here. I'll show you. I don't think we'll get a sun. I don't think we'll get a sunrise this morning. But it is light outside now. It's not dark anymore. I can remove this light that Dazzle gave me. This is the light that Dazzle bought me. That way, It's not so dark here. But let me just show you like outside what it looks like. I'm gonna walk outside. Looks like it's going to be a rainy day today. You can kind of see. I mean, the clouds are awesome. Right there, you can kind of see. You can kind of see how there's sun in that area. It's trying to come out, but rain clouds for sure. These are like rain clouds here. Our car's wet. I was about to wash my car yesterday afternoon. Good thing I didn't wash it. And then there's Bumblebee. And no roosters here. We don't have roosters here. Unless the boss rooster, I call this one rooster the boss rooster. He's at the entrance of Camellia. And he has walked into Camellia, because it's not like you can prevent him if he goes into Camellia. I hear my neighbor's always awake to sweeping. That's like the first thing people do here is like sweeping their sidewalk. Because this tree right here loses a lot of leaves. Like right there, I got leaves right there. So later I'll go sweep that also. But looks like, you never know, it might change. We might get sun, some sun here this morning. You can never tell. Ooh, that's kind of nice. Looking nice there. Like that's usually where the sunrise is. And when it's bright here, that's where I focus my camera. Usually right there, it's like bright and sunny. So maybe all these clouds will go away. But wet for sure this morning, wet. And then Leanna will probably have to wake Leanna here. So see, what are you cooking, Mom? Bacon! Man, Leanna's spoiled. This girl's gonna have bacon for lunch. Bacon and eggs. She's gonna have bacon and eggs for lunch. Leanna is gonna. Oh, she wanted bacon. Oh man, this girl is spoiled, man. Bacon, eggs, and rice. See, that's how Leanna rolls, man. She's gonna have bacon, eggs, and fried rice for lunch. Man, that's a spoiled kid, man. That's a spoiled kid. This kid is lucky. I'm sure her classmates are telling Leanna, dang, I have to turn on the light again. I didn't realize it's still, even though it's light outside, it's still dark. That's funny, Kevin. The chicken. I know what you're saying though. It's like, well, at La Casa Española, Gray told me no chicken. He doesn't hear chicken either because that complex is really quiet. He doesn't have to worry about roosters. Lifting weights will get you faster to your fitness goals. Just go slow and create. Yes, yes. I've done before. I've done before when I was in the military. I'm familiar, and I focus on the form. I'm not one of those guys that are like want to lift everything. Lift the whole gym. I've never been that guy. I'm always the guy that I'll lift, like the really light weights, but I focus on the form because for me it was always about just working out all the muscles that way when I run to improve my running. I was never like the guy that you go to the gym. There's usually a guy that puts all the things in. They just lift as heavy as they can. Never been. I've never. I'm always been. Light. I've always been light. I think the heaviest I got even during my military years was maybe 170, and that's like I'm 5'10" and 170 was the biggest I ever got. That was like even with protein and all that. But usually when I was in the military, I was always like 145, 150 pounds. I've always been like lean, like tall and skinny. And that's how I am now. I'm like the same, like 150 pounds, 5'10". Your refrigerator will indicate how much power it consumes. How how many watts? Yeah, I'm interested in that. It's like, well, I know, like, from the panels, when I'm watching videos about it, you can kind of gauge like when you're like getting to like 100% or 80%, and then you can see how much. I like that fact that you can kind of see how much your refrigerator will take. To me, that's just fun. I might be even recording it on a spreadsheet. In, putting the data in HD. Then for how long will it need to run? Multiply the two and how many. Yeah, see, I'm interested in that. Like do an Excel spreadsheet, track down. Get. Of course, you're still at the mercy of the sun. Like as far as. But that'll be cool. That's why I'm interested. I'm interested. A typical refrigerator is about 800 watts. Let's say that it runs for about 10 hours to keep it cool. That's 8 kilowatt and 10%. About add 10%. So about 8.8 kilowatt. Ah, okay, all right. See, I like that. I like that, HD. Lowell, hey, kumusta? Kumusta, Lowell? Mabuti ako, kaibigan. Mabuti ako, kaibigan. My friend in Oregon. Just got up a little ago. Have a great day. All right, have a great day, Lowell. Thank you. Thank you for joining the live stream. God bless. God bless, Lowell. Add your stuff that you run around the house along with that. I'm thinking, yeah, we don't run many things. The main thing will be a fan. Like we have a desk fan here that they run this desk fan when they're watching TV, and then the ceiling fan. But when they're running the desk fan, they can cut the ceiling fan. But we'll definitely figure it out. We'll figure it out. That's gonna be cool when we add that to our house here. Howdy, hey Daniel, hey Daniel. Good morning, Daniel, my good friend in Jacksonville, Florida. Howdy, y'all. Early birds. Did you miss me? We missed you, Daniel. We missed you. From now on, Daniel, more likely my live streams will be around this time, 5 a.m., 5 a.m., 5:30, because I'm gonna start going to the gym like at 7. That'll be a 7 till so I won't be able to do the 7:30 time. And I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it going because I want to get back in a good shape, and then hopefully I can start, this coming summer, like March, April time frame in 2026. I do want to do some 5Ks again. They start with the 5Ks, run the 5Ks. Alan, hey Alan, from Texas, my friend in Texas. Howdy, Gino. I'm on my afternoon walk at the gym. All right, all right. And see, Dazzle's coming along while like Gray and I are working out because Dazzle, she's a she loves like walking on the treadmill, jogging. So she was like on the treadmill for over an hour, and then she even got to the machines. The machines that Gray showed me how to do the workouts. Like I showed Dazzle, so she did a little bit. She did like one, two. I think she did four machines, uh, 5 sets of 8, 5 sets of 8 on four different machines. So she's getting her workout on too. HD, the sun come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom, bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To me, it's not a big deal. Rain never bothers me because it's not like But I do prefer when it's sunny. It's nicer. It's nicer to wake up, to a bright and sunny sunrise. Can your vehicles fit in your garage? Yes. Actually, that carport, that's where that little tricycle port that we built. Now it's become like a laundry room. Our washing machine is there. I can still fit Bumblebee in there, and then the cars, plenty of room. I mean, I can fit 2 cars in our yard, but it's just a hassle opening the gate, closing the gate when it's raining. It's just easier for us to like park it on the street, just because if you notice the lot across from us is empty. So we just kind of lucked out. And then my neighbor parks the car on that carport. So there's on our little area here, nobody parks. So I figure, well, it's easier in and out. And nobody messes with the cars here, because like I know all my neighbors. If somebody walks around here, the person will stick out if they're not in my street. Totoy, I mean Totoy. The minute somebody gets near our gate or our car, she'll start barking. She alerts us. She's a good guard dog. Totoy, not right now, but she's sleeping. She's sleeping, but she usually is a good guard dog. Like if somebody's outside, she's curious. She peeks. She peeks on the window. She'll look outside like she's alert, very alert dog. Add some leche flan for dessert with Nesquik chocolate drink and that's usually we pack. She likes the Yakult probiotics, so she usually gets 2 of those because she don't have to refrigerate them. It can stay in her bag for like till lunchtime and it doesn't spoil. That's what we get her. And then fruit, we'll put like a banana, we'll put apple or orange. She gets a good lunch. And then she's got allowance. She's got money to buy snacks at the school because she doesn't come home. When I drop Leanne off at school at 7, I pick her up at 4, so she's at school the whole day. Man, that's like 9 hours. But they get a lunch break. They get like an hour or hour and a half lunch break, and a lot of them just eat in the classroom. Including the teachers. The teachers eat with them. And then, of course, they try to eat fast. I told her, don't eat too fast because, they want to play. Extra recess. Extra recess. From Italy. Wow, nice. Etery, nice. From Italy. We don't get many from Italy on the live stream. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. Shreya, where are you from? I'm from the Philippines. I live here in Numancia, Aklan, Western Visayas in the Philippines. I've been living at this house here, the house that we're living in, since 2016. So 9 years, but all total, I came to Boracay in 2011. So all total, I've been living in Aklan for 14 years, 15 in March. So I'm getting, I guess you can consider me a little bit Aklanon now. Even though I don't speak the dialect, I can understand a little bit. It's hard. Aklanon is hard to learn. And it's hard to learn for me because you don't hear it much. A lot of the people that you communicate with talk in Tagalog. It's like it's more common actually to hear people talk Tagalog, and especially with me when they talk to me, they're not gonna speak Aklanon because I speak the Tagalog. That's kind of like the more national language of the Philippines. More, I would say, majority of Filipinos can speak, write, and understand Tagalog because that's how used to be the uh, when you go to school, used to be they teach you in Tagalog, but now they're leaning more to English. A lot like Liana. She goes to Numancia Integrated School. Most of her subjects are in English. They're teaching her in English. She doesn't even have a class on Aklanon. That's the thing. That's why I think the kids are losing their dialect, the local kids here in Aklanon, because she has a subject in Tagalog, Filipino. It's called the Filipino subject, but they talk Tagalog. The books are in Tagalog. So that's why I think less and less people are speaking Aklanon, the local dialect here in Aklan, because they only speak it at home. And when they watch TV or when they're on the internet, YouTube, they're watching in Tagalog and they're watching in English. Not many videos, not many things that they can watch in Aklanon. And that's just one dialect in the Philippines. There's like 80, I think over 80 dialects here. Aklanon, Hiligaynon, Boracaynon. It's like there's so many. There's so many language. Dialects here. So that's why some of the dialects I think will eventually die down because there's nobody speaking it. Edgar, yeah, Yoo-hoo. I remember that. I remember that drink, Yoo-hoo. I haven't seen that. Probably SNR. I bet you SNR. They have the same version. They have here Magnolia chocolate milk. They have that. Chucky. Another one's Chucky. They have this drink called Chucky that she likes drinking. It's chocolate milk. Same thing as Yoo-hoo. Little, similar taste, similar taste. Edgar, in mood Kool-Aid. I have bought Leanna. She has had Kool-Aid when we SNR. Bought her Kool-Aid, so she's tasted Kool-Aid, and I have bought her a moon pie too. She's tasted moon pie, Twinkies, ding dongs. Every time we go to SNR, I'm trying to like buy. It's probably not good food, but I introduce that just so we don't eat it all the time. It's like we'll buy it once a year, so at least that way she knows. Oh, Kuya, I like that. I like that. She likes the Twinkies. I remember she liked the Twinkies. Maybe for the slower California kids, the slower California kids. Then sing the lyrics. Oh, okay. What lyrics is that? My bad, HD. I must have not caught it. I must have not caught, I wasn't quick enough. HD. 1000% sure that will build my money up near. Oh yeah, man. I'll take you there, Daniel, if you want to work out at a gym because I'll do it. I'm pretty. I'm pretty good. Like I'm pretty consistent. Like I said, I'm a routine person. If I start a routine, I like the routine. I'm getting in shape. I'll just keep going. And it's not like I got anything else to do. I don't have anything else to do. It's like, and my health has always been a focus for me. It's like very important that tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. You're always a day. Yeah. All right, I don't know the whole song. HD. And I'm India. All right, nice. Thank you, Shreya, for joining the live stream from India. We got India, we got Italy. Wow, we're international this morning. We're going international. Bukon man it malisod ga hambay it aklan. Bukon. I know what bukon means. Bukon hindi man. I know hindi man it malisod. What's malisod, ma'am? Malisod.
Hindi difficult.
Malisod. Yeah, difficult. It's not man, it's hard, man. Aklano is hard, man. And that AE, that always confuses me.
Yeah.
That
Even me.
Yeah, that the whole AE thing. Whoever came up with that with Aklan and HD, that always confuses me. Am I supposed to say it Akian, A-K, Aklan? It's Aklan, right? But I'm like, am I supposed to say Akian for that?
Yes, it's hard to write.
That always throws me off. That uh, the EA. Philippines Rider. Hey, Philippine Rider. The RCVD, the 30 packets each of Copico offerings. Blanca, Premium, and Brown. Brown is too sweet. Yeah, the brown sugar. Brown sugar. Premium and Brown. Brown is premium is okay sweet. Blanca is much bigger packet and does have a yeah. That's why I like it. I like it because it's the creamier. It tastes more milky, like a lot of cream on it. That's why I prefer it. I've had enough of that military, whatever that thing we were drinking in the military. We used to have these big metal pots in the military, gigantic pots, and they had like a spigot. It's got a spigot, and then when you get towards the bottom of that coffee, it's kind of gets thicker. It gets thicker, man. I've had enough of that. When it starts getting emptied out, you're getting like the really, really strong coffee at the end, man. I've had enough of that in the military, man. I didn't mind that when I was in the military, man. I remember I would drink 4 or 5 of those a day because you had to have a lot of energy in the military. Working in the hospital, sometimes I have to work like from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., the graveyard shift. Those were brutal. Those were brutal working the graveyard shift. It's hard to stay away. I never got used to that. Of all my, I hated like being, if I, some shifts I even do the swing shift like at 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. That's not as bad. But the worst was the graveyard. And we have to take turns because, the hospital is 24/7. So you can't not work the graveyard. It got lessened once I moved up in rank. That's the benefit in the military. When you start moving up in rank, you don't get the bad shifts. The younger kids, the younger guys coming into the military, they're the one that gets thrown at the graveyard shift. Having touch with native roots is important. Yes, I agree. I mean, it's like the culture, the old, like here in Aklan, like the kids, they should, like I know with Leanna at her school every Monday they have flag ceremony and they have to sing, the national anthem of the Philippines, the Pledge of Allegiance to the Philippines, and they also sing the Aklan hymn. I think those things are important because like they'll sing in Aklanan. To me, you don't want to lose that. You don't want to lose that. You don't want everybody like speaking Tagalog and speaking English in the Philippines. It's like there's a part of these dialects that is very important to the local culture. Definitely, definitely. Old traditional ways. You don't want to lose all the traditional ways. And here there's enough like all some of the traditional ways like cooking with wood, things like that, or the old dishes, the Aklanon dishes like inubaran chicken. That's pretty popular here. Inubaran chicken, eating native chicken. That's still not everybody just eats the chicken at the grocery store, the plump magnolia dressed chicken. People here still eat the native chicken. And when I say native chicken, there's a big difference. If you're eating the regular grocery like the plump, they probably like inject that thing with steroids or something. They make the chicken so plump, like they're healthy, right? The native chicken, they're skinny. They're skinny. I mean, when you eat a drumstick and a native chicken, there's hardly any meat. And then when you bite in it, it's kind of like, man, it's kind of chewy and tough because they're free range. They're just running around everywhere. They're healthy. I think they're healthier chicken. They're actually more expensive. The native chicken, you can buy the regular chicken at the grocery about 240 a kilo. The native chicken's like 400 a kilo. So there must be something to that it's more expensive than the native chicken. A lot of times when you buy the native chicken here, you gotta kill it. There's no native chicken at the public market. Usually it's still alive. They're, they tie them and then you pick them. You buy the native chicken and take it home and you gotta butcher it. That's the only drawback. But people still eat native chicken here. It's still popular here in our province. I thought my other dog came down, Chloe, because I hear Leanna now. Mom's waking up Leanna to get ready for school. LOL. Seems to never fail that you get where you are from. Get a shirt that reads Gino created. I created in the PH. Hey man, I got a shirt person now here. I can create T-shirts now here. Raised in the Air Force. Raised in the Air. I mean, I became a man in the Air Force. HD. And ain't no lie about that. I joined the Air Force when I was 17. I was just a young kid at 17. I wasn't even legal. I joined the military. I wasn't even legal, man. It's like I was still like underage, 17. I had to get permission from my mom to join the Air Force. I couldn't even drink. I wasn't even like legal drinking age. But they did allow, this was the thing when I joined the military that was so cool. For me anyway, I graduated high school, I was 16, then I turned 17, then I joined the military. In California at the time, this was 1983, the drinking age was 19. But because I joined the military, when I'm inside an Air Force base, I was allowed to drink beer. I couldn't buy liquor. Liquor was still strict in California. It was still 19. I can go buy, even though I'm in military uniform, I cannot pick up a bottle of liquor and purchase it inside the base. I couldn't do that, but I could purchase beer. I remember that. I was 17 years old. To me, that was like the coolest. It's like walking in there in my uniform, grab a 6-pack, a 12-pack, so I can put it in my dormitory fridge. That was a big deal for me. I was like, and I would like tell my friends, in Long Beach, my high school friend, hey, dude, check it out, man. I got, it's like I'm drinking beer and it's legal, I remember in California, we used to find somebody to buy us beer. Everybody did that, right? Like 7-Eleven, you're like hanging out with your buddies at 7-Eleven. You're looking for a guy walking in. It's like, hey, can you buy us beer? You're waiting for a guy that will say, okay, I'll buy you beer. And usually you have to buy them beer. You have to buy them like one of those tall boys, the Budweiser tall boys, and they'll carry in a brown bag. It's like to buy you beer. Philippine Rider, Blanca is the best for the money. But in my honesty, I think it's more like a creamer. Yeah, it is. I mean, I can still taste coffee in it to me, but it is creamy. That's why I like it. It's a mild coffee. That's why I like the Blanca. Use these Kopika packets into a cup of coffee for a better, more satisfying flavor. Mom, she likes her coffee like black, coffee black. She uses like, I'll show you what she has. This is what Mom does. She got these little singles. It's like little singles here. It's like Nescafe Classic. We buy this for Mom, like 50 of these. I don't remember the price, but she just drinks this and she doesn't even put anything on it. It's just like dark, black coffee. Edgar, I was a 90s kid. All right, 90s kid. So I'm a little older. I was more like late 70s, and then I was in high school like early 80s. I joined the military in February 84. I'm like the MTV generation. I'm the MTV generation. I remember when I saw that Moon Man for the first time. I want my MTV. Dire Straits. I love that song. Jason Potter. She needs some biscuits and gravy. Oh man, I love that, man, Jason. Man, I love, that's like one of my favorite breakfast meals in the Air Force was biscuits and gravy. And I would order the biscuits and gravy, and I would order a hash brown, and I would tell the guy, like at the Oh, we call it dining facility in the Air Force. I know people call it chow hall or whatever they call it, but in the Air Force we call it our dining facility. And I would like get my biscuits and gravy, order a side of hash brown, and I would, hey, can you put some of that gravy on the hash brown even? That was like my one of my favorite breakfasts in the Air Force. I can resist HD. So if you're a 90s kid, does that make you a Tide Pod eat? Ooh, I don't know. Oh, right. The pod things for the soap that the I remember that now. I remember what they're talking about. Now they're like, fancy pot. It's not just like you scoop a detergent and throw it in the washing machine. They got pods. They got laundry washing pods now. Same thing now. I think they got those little containers now. Keurig, like the coffee thing. I mean, it's delicious. I got to try it one time. We stayed at a fancy hotel, I think, one time, and they had I was looking at the machine. I was like, oh man, this is fancy, and got the different flavors of the Keurig thing. And I made one. I said, oh, this is a good coffee. You do look great. How much did you gain during your recovery? I went. My lowest weight, Ria, was 100. Before my treatments, the doctor gave me like a month before they started my chemo treatments, and the doctor told me gain as much as you can. So I went from like 150. In a month, I gained like 168. I got up to all the way up to 18 pounds in 1 month. I gained. I mean, I was just eating ice cream. I was eating pizza. I was eating like to bulk up, to just gain weight. And from 168, 4 months of chemo and radiation, I was like 119 when I stopped treatments. I was like, man, I've never seen my body like that. 119. I'm 5'10", 119 pounds. I was just like, it felt like I was just bone and flesh. I didn't have any, lost all muscle, lost all fat that I had. And now I'm up to like, I thought I was at 154, but it could be the scale at the gym too. But I weighed at the gym yesterday, so I'm 150. I want to get at least up to like 155, 160. 160 I think would be ideal for me, like at 5'10". I think that would be a good weight for me. None of that, Edgar. That's the generation after me. HD, you're not the Tide Pod. You're not the Tide Pod. At least you're not eating crayons, right? HD, it's like that's always, they always tease the Marine Corps people about eating crayons. Tilting those big pots to get the last cup of coffee visually. Got your grounds, right? I mean, I just remember, like, you wanted to get when it's still fresh. By the time it got to the bottom, that giant about this big, like a metal container, round container, it's got the spigot. By the time you get to, yeah, like I said, you would hit some grounds in there, and it was just like, man, it was just bad by the time it got to the bottom. And then you couldn't drink it all because you're gonna be eating grounds at the bottom. Drinking some of that ground, whatever grounds they use. And it's usually like in the military, we usually send a guy to like go to the commissary to buy coffee, and they won't buy Folgers or whatever. Everybody's like penny pinching. They would get the coffee, the big white containers, remember that says coffee. It's like no name brand, none of things, just says coffee. But for us, it was coffee. Yeah, I remember in the military when I was drinking, it was just to stay awake. It wasn't really like for the taste or anything like that. I grew up in the U.S. and still know how to speak Aglanan. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. It's a shame for them to not know that, considering they are growing up in a place where it's from. Yes, that's why me, it's like, even when I went to the U.S., it's like I was 12. Now, I was getting immersed in English, and everybody's pushing me. You got to learn English fast, understand English. when I was at home, my mom talked to me in Tagalog because she felt that that was important. That for me to speak Tagalog, understand Tagalog, that don't lose that. And I didn't. And when I joined the military at 17, any base I went, I would always find Filipinos. Not many. Like I know at George, there was maybe when I joined in 1984, we had a little group. We would play basketball. We would play basketball. I would say there was like maybe 7 or 8 Filipinos in the entire base because not a lot of Air Force Filipinos back in the 80s, early 80s. It's mostly Filipinos were more Navy, U.S. Navy is where there were a lot of it. In the U.S. Air Force, like I know my first hospital, George Air Force Base Hospital, there was Tech Sergeant Gettinger, me. There was maybe like 5 of us, including a doctor, the Colonel David. So there was many. I mean, we're a hospital of like 600, 700 people, and there's like 5 Filipinos. But we knew each other because like, the minute you're walking in the hallway, you're like, I think she's Filipino, and then they'll go, you're Filipino, right? They'll do that. So it was nice to have that. Anywhere you went, there was always like a Filipino. And then when you go to those bases, it's nice to, like, for me, when you join the military, you're Filipino. There's no Filipino food at the dining hall. The dining facility. There's no Filipino. Rarely do they ever have Filipino food. So when you meet people on the base and you find out they're Filipino, you get invited to their house. It's awesome because you get to eat adobo, you get to eat lumpia. I never miss a party, like a Filipino party. If I got invited, I'm like, yeah, I'm going, man. I get to eat Filipino food. Ang hindi magmahal sa sariling wika, daig pa ang hayop at malansang isda. Jose Rizal, great thought. HD was just saying, if you don't love your own language, you're worse than an animal or like a dead fish, like an old fish. From Jose Rizal, that's our national hero. He was really pushing, nationalism in the Philippines. That's why he became our national hero in the late 1800s. Because when Spanish ruled the Philippines, they weren't really teaching Filipinos. They wanted to keep Filipinos down. They looked at Filipinos as slaves. They just want to work Filipinos in the fields or whatever. They weren't about educating us. Unlike the Americans. When the Americans came to the United States, 1898, after the Americans won the Spanish-American War, there's Leanna, she's away. After they won the Spanish-American War, when the Americans came here, 1898 till after World War II, Americans always pushed education here. That's why a lot of Filipinos speak English now. It's because of the Americans. If the Americans never came here after winning that war, we would not be English as a second language here. We would just be like any other Southeast Asian country here, speaking the native dialects. And even during the Spanish time, there were areas, pockets here in the Philippines, Vigan, Zamboanga, Cebu, that spoke Spanish. That's why there's some dialects here that's got Spanish incorporated in it. I know, like in Zamboanga, there's people that speak Spanish in Zamboanga to this day. They understand Spanish language. But unlike the Americans, when they came here, they spread English here. That's why we benefit from it. Expats benefit from now when they come here. You can at least converse with a Filipino in English. They might not be fluent in English, but they'll at least understand what you're talking about. If you're asking for direction, hey, where can I find this thing? Do you have like a pharmacy here? At least you can say that. And when you go to like other Southeast Asian countries, like I've been to like I lived in South Korea, I lived in Japan, traveled Southeast Asia. There's places where like you're like looking at, maybe now it might help with that phone, the app. You could type in what you're doing and show them. But I didn't have that app before when I was living in South Korea and Japan. Hey bro, Bernie. Oh, Bernie, my good friend in Canada. Long time no hear, Bernie. Long time no hear. Hey, bro, got my central line in today. Love your life. Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, Bernie. I know you're probably planning to visit. I've met Bernie actually. I've met Bernie before at the Etienne. At the Etienne, him and his wife and daughter were like dancing at the Etienne. I caught them on film even. Hopefully you guys make it back, Bernie, to Atiatihan again someday. His wife is here from Aklan, so I'm sure she wants to come back here too. And I remember your wife has relatives here in Kalibo. Met the relatives because they sent something to us, to Dazzle and I, and we met. I think it was a sister or a niece that gave us items that Bernie had sent for us here. I don't forget stuff like that, Bernie. I was touched by that. Dazzle too. When people like are so kind like that to us, we don't forget. We don't forget people. Good luck, brother. For all that health issues, man. I'd understand that, man. It's like it's unfortunate. When we get older, that's the thing we have to deal with. It's like you know, it's part of aging. Unfortunately, it's like stuff that we never used to worry about. Yeah, when I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, I never worried about being. I was healthy. I thought I was going to be like that forever, but unfortunately that age thing, once we get older, that's when things start coming out. Cornish, all right, Cornish cross. Cornish game hen. I've had that. I've had a little tiny, looks like almost like a between a pigeon and a chicken. But they're good. They're good. They're like good meat. Good meat. Chicken taste pretty good. They do, man. That's like corn. I love Cornish game hens. Those are perfect. The native chicken, if you don't cook it right, it's like the toughest chicken you'll ever eat. It has to be prepared correctly. Somebody that knows how to prepare. I've had like native chicken at restaurants, and sometimes, man, they're just like like you're chewing on like beef jerky or something. It's so tough. Shrida HD. All right, HD. Native chicken takes up more resources to have per pound of meat. That's why it's expensive. Oh, okay. All right. I see that, man. I see. Other breeds are bred for meat, so they pick certain characteristics to allow it more meatier. Yeah, and plus they cage them. They cage them. I know, like the plump chicken. They're like in cages, like all up. They just keep feeding him, keep feeding him. The native chicken, they're like running around. They're like chasing other chickens, chasing dogs. Chasing people. Some chicken breeds are raised to be egg layers. It doesn't make sense to raise those chickens. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, we can't have but chickens too. I can't just like build cages here and put chickens in there. We're not allowed. Pretty strict HOAs there. Nescafe Classic, cool. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's what mom drinks, the Nescafe Classic. Lowell, I always felt that if you were in the military, willing to possibly die defending this country, you should be able to drink in any bar, in any bar. Yeah, it's like I see your point. I see your point. But me, man, when I joined the military, I was just happy that I could drink beer. It's like legally at 17, 17, 18. I didn't turn, 2 years before I turned 19. And then I remember California was 19, and then they raised it to 21. Now we know why. You joined the military to drink beer? To drink beer, Daniel? I joined the military to drink beer. You wanted the beer really bad. Well, I was drinking beer in high school, Daniel. Like, hey, California, it's like I was a surfer in California, and we always had beer on the beach. Somebody always brought beer. It's like I even drank on kegs. Sometimes I was drinking kegs. Underage drinking back in the day wasn't enforced like it is now. Underage drinking now it's like, they're checking IDs and all that. Back when my California days, my high school in California, my junior and senior year, I was drinking beer. There was always a party that they had beer. Morning, babe.
Oh,
Yeah, I got Dazzle off guard. She's like, oh, she's gonna get ready too because after we drop off Leanna, we're headed to the gym. Aha, MTV. I want my MTV. All right, that drums. I love that song, man. When I hear it, it just like I just love that song, man. That's my generation. I'm like the MTV generation. All the Bananarama, Aha, all that music. Yeah, I still listen to it. It's still my favorite music. It's like Footloose. All the '80s music. My high school was 2000s. Wow, wow. I graduated in 1983 HD, so I'm a little bit older. I'm a little bit older than you, man. Army is called mess hall. Okay, mess hall, mess hall. Yeah, I know you. I've heard chow hall, mess hall. In the Air Force, it's a dining facility, Daniel. They call it. Are you going to the dining facility? Tide Pod Challenge was around 2018. All right, all right. Edgar was off by a decade and a half. That Tide Pod generation isn't so smart. Isn't so smart. It's after my time, but I have seen them. I think they have them at SNR. That's why I looked at it with the Tide. I was like, what. But I've never used it because when I was still in the U.S., when I left in the U.S., it was 2011, and I used like detergent, the powder. I didn't see those pods. Eating the pod challenge is perfect example. Crayon eaters, marine. Yeah, that's I always. I see that. They always say that HD about the Marine Corps eating crayons. Eating crayons was long after I was in. The crayon generation must have been developed after the challenge card game out in boot camp. Okay, I'm sure. I gotta research it now. Where that came from. Why is it the current? What is that? I should have researched that before. I should have known why is the Marine Corps equal. They tease them all the time about eating crayons. Haven't eaten crayons since kindergarten. I'm a jarhead. An army soldier and marine are walking. The soldiers is great. Looks next to me. They're like, don't shut up. They're mine. That's funny. HD. Us in the Air Force, everybody just that the thing they call us, we're called the chair force because most of our jobs in the Air Force require a lot of sitting down in the chair. Like that's my job. It's like I was medical administration, so I'm always like in a chair in front of a computer. It's like for most of the time. We do have like we pitch tents. We fire weapons. Like I have to qualify on the M16 once a year. So really, I don't have to really carry a weapon like all the time. It's like you have to qualify a basic training, and then after basic training, every year you have to qualify with the M16. You have to know how to disassemble, clean it, fire it. That's the only requirement. So I've had training. I've had training on the M16. And hospital during wartime anyway, when we deploy, we have the cross, like we're not non-combatants. If you're medical, you're considered non-combatants. They're not supposed to shoot us, but hey, it's war. You'll probably get shot if you go. The idea behind the crayon eating joke is that you have the short bus kids in kindergarten class who would sit and eat crayons. Oh, okay. Now I get it. Now I get it. Make crescent. There's the kids that eat the crayons there, and then the ones that color. Yeah, I get it now. I get it. HD. Where are you from? I'm from Numancia, Aklan, and in Western Visayas in the Philippines. Navy, it's called the galley. Oh, wow, that's a fancy name, galley. That sounds like galley. That sounds like fine dining at the galley. At the galley. Many branches of the U.S. military use stars for something important. Army and Marines sleep under the stars. Navy navigates. Air Force chooses their hotel. Yeah, they do. They do. The 5-star, 4 or 5-star hotels. I mean, I know it's like when we deploy, you know, they'll send us places. We always, most of the time, we end up in a hotel. You know, they put us up in a hotel, man. How do you know if there's an Air Force pilot at your party? Oh, don't worry, he'll tell you. I said, oh yeah, walks in. You know, it's like they walk kind of, you know, they got that, you know, it's like that presence. You know, an Air Force pilot, you know, they're always like, and then they talk. You know, the way they talk. You know, an Air Force pilot. You know, they're cocky. They're like, you know, the Type A personality. You know, like I'm the best. Yeah, I'm the best. No way on this earth. Oh, no way on this earth could anyone think our food could be mistaken for dining hall. Most of the army food is really mess. Oh, that's why mess hall. It's a mess. That's why they call it mess. That's funny. So, U.S. Army, Marine, Navy, and Air Force officers are all told, secure the building. The Marine leads his platoon into the building, flashbang grenades. The Army guy surrounds the building, mobile infantry, the artillery, belligerent. But the kid don't count that. Navy guy just remembers to lock the doors and turn off the lights. Air Force guy will proceed to start the paperwork to buy the building 3 times. I know, right? Man, I remember some of the things that, you know, I worked in one of my jobs before HD. I worked in medical supply. So procurement. And man, some of the things I'm looking at, like I remember we had these catalogs, you know, back in the day, you have catalogs, actual books, you know, you're looking through the catalog. Usually at the end of the fiscal year, like towards like September, before the new fiscal year kicks in October, we have extra money, you know, because we've been, you know, for the beginning of the fiscal year, we're like saving, not spending the budget, you know, maintaining budget. And towards the end, usually we have a surplus. It is like, and we had to spend it. You know, our bosses would tell us, hey, we got to get rid of all this. We can't let them know that if the budget is, we did such a good job of the budget and we had so much extra and we have to turn it back. You know, they might cut our budget the following year. So we were always told like when it's like September, oh, you got to spend it. So we're like looking through catalogs, and I remember those catalogs, man. I'm like, dang, that's an expensive coffee maker. I mean, like, you know, where do we get these catalogs? You know, back in the day, we didn't have no Amazon. You know, we don't have no Amazon Prime. You know, we didn't have none of that. It's like big, giant, thick catalogs, and we're looking at the catalog. A desk, you need a new chair. You know, we would spend the money before the end of fiscal year. That way, when we hit like September 30, we want to get close to zero as far as the money that was the budgeted for that year. You never wanted to have a lot of money at the end, because the following, well, you didn't spend all this money last year, so we're cutting your budget for the next year. You know, you never want. You know, we were always instructed. To like. All right, I'm at the bottom. And this is about the length now. I'll try to do the live stream because I have to get ready. Dazzle's getting ready to go to the gym. Leanna's getting ready, so we still have to take Leanna's to school. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining the live stream. Oh, there's HD again. An army officer enters a fast food joint. Excuse me, may I use your latrine? Oh, that's another term. That's a military term. Latrine. That's a military term. I don't have a latrine. I wasn't in the army. I was in the army. Sorry, what branch were you in? The Air Force. In that case, the powder room. The powder room. That's funny. That's funny. All right, HD. Thank you again, everyone, for joining the live stream. We will get going here, take Leanna to school, then we're gonna head to our morning workout at the gym. All right, thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Everyone, have a good day.